from the moment of silence for Pope Francis, and a big moment for the state of Illinois, the first Pope, and he's from America and from Illinois, Chicago specifically. So please keep Pope Leo XIV in your prayers. Roll call.
15 present, with members McCann, Kelch, and Renault absent.
Next is the approval of the April 10th minutes. Is there a motion to put that on the floor? Member Daley, second member Duncan. Questions, comments, corrections? Seeing Member Allison.
I'm going to have to be a voice vote. For a few more minutes, my iPad's disabled.
Okay. It says attendance right now.
Mine says approval of minutes. April 10th.
Oh, there it is. All right, please vote.
Member Allison, how would you like to vote?
Are you okay on time?
Fifteen ayes, 0 nays.
That would bring us to proclamations and presentations. We've got quite a few tonight. First up is a proclamation congratulating the Community Foundation of Central Illinois for 40 years of service. Mark and your team, would you please come up?
Right. Well, welcome, Mark. Thank you. Glad to have you here, and we will go through the proclamation, and we'll give you an opportunity to make some comments. All right. So, whereas the Community Foundation of Central Illinois, a nonprofit organization that was established in 1985 by a group of citizens who wanted to create a lasting change in the community, is celebrating their 40th anniversary. And whereas the Community Foundation of Central Illinois connects people to seek to donate their time and assets to causes that address community needs through the management of endowments and grants that support local initiatives in health, social services, education, and arts. And whereas the Community Foundation of Central Illinois allows citizens to create and establish funds that generate positive and lasting impact on the community. And whereas, since its inception, the Community Foundation of Central Illinois has contributed over $25 million to nonprofit organizations through grants and more than $80 million through depository fund contributions. Whereas the Community Foundation of Central Illinois continues to expand their efforts and impact through the creation of new grants, more assets utilized in the community, and more personnel. Therefore, now I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby congratulate the Community Foundation of Central Illinois for their 40 years of service and commend their continual commitment to Central Illinois community, dated this 8th day of May, AD 2025. James C. Dillon, Peoria County Chairperson. Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk. Thank you. Give you an opportunity to make some comments.
Thank you. Thank you to Peoria County, and thank you to the board for this recognition. On behalf of the board of directors and all of the volunteers and the staff, and really the many thousands and thousands of donors and fund holders and others that are members of the Central Illinois community who have come together over the years to help their community foundation grow, I'm honored to accept this. We've been connecting people who care with for 40 years now, and as you might imagine, that's very pleasant work for us to get to do. We're the conduit between people like you and all the people in the Central Illinois community who care so much about this community and all those causes that matter, all those nonprofit organizations and our park districts and all the other things that are important to the quality of life here. We get to do that work. As you might imagine, it's wonderful work. Our first executive director, a lady named Donna Hare, who took over this organization in the late 1980s, we had exactly $2,540.39 to our name at that time. Time has been good to us. As we stand here today, we have a charitable endowment for this community that exceeds $83 million. The growth has been significant. In this year, we're going to grant about $7.5 million back into this community. And the info has been a little bit updated from this proclamation. Our total impact on this community since inception is now over $145 million. So the impact has been great. And that is us helping the arts. And it's helping social service, providing scholarships for students, and everything you might think of that helps to promote the quality of life in this community. So on behalf of everyone involved with the community, we are honored to accept this. And here's to 40 more really great years. Thank you.
Next, a proclamation congratulating the Peoria Garden Club for 100 years of service.
And they're all good gardeners, I think. Well, it's my pleasure today to give the proclamation to the Peoria Garden Club. And there's quite a few of us, I think, here on the board that are gardeners ourselves, and a few of us that argue what's the best compost is, but we won't go any farther than that. We'll start out with the proclamation. Whereas the Peoria Garden Club, a nonprofit organization that was first established in 1924, is celebrating their 100th anniversary. And whereas the Peoria Garden Club fosters a love of gardening and promotes a clean environment through educational programs, volunteerism, beautification efforts, and more. And whereas Peoria Garden Club membership is open to all across greater Peoria, regardless of their gardening skill level. And whereas the Peoria Garden Club has completed a number of civic projects for local organizations since 1924, including, but not limited to, the Illinois Valley Fuller Center, OSF Healthcare, St. Francis Medical Center Garden of Hope, Alpha Park Garden of Hope, and Peoria Friendship House. And whereas many lives have been inspired by the beauty of flowers, trees, and landscaping through the Peoria Garden Club's decade of volunteerism and civic projects. Therefore now, I, James C. Dillon, Chairman of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby congratulate the Peoria County Club for their 100 years of service and commend their service to the Central Illinois community. Dated this 8th day of May, AD 2025. Signed by James C. Dillon, Peoria County Chairman, and Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk. And
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
This is Barb Kane. I'm going to let her speak, and then she can let whoever else would like to.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the Peoria County Board for bestowing this honor on us. It was a surprise and a welcome one. So these are some of the ladies that have led the club through the year, and we also have had accomplished many different things through the community in honor of our 100th anniversary, including a brick path, which is at Luthi Botanical Garden, if you have a chance to see it. Yeah, memorial path. I'm going to hand this over to Julie Leonard, who's going to speak briefly about a sale we have coming up.
This Saturday at Metro Center, and we are having our plant sale. There will be the Peoria Garden Club plus the Master Gardeners and the Peoria Evening Club, and it'll be at the Farmers Market area that usually is there, along with the Walk for the Cure, and it's from 8 until noon, and their plants are all members, tried and true plants. They're mostly all perennials. So we invite you to come out, and I think that you'll be pleased at the pricing of them. So come and get a bargain.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, a proclamation congratulating the Foster College of Business at Bradley University on 75 years of excellence in business education. And congratulations to President Shadid, and thankful for you, your leadership and what you're going to bring to the community.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm so excited to have my bosses here tonight. This is Interim Dean Chris Malacharuvu, who is Interim Dean of the Foster College of Business and the Caterpillar College of Engineering. And our brand new, as you just heard, President James Shadid. I don't have to say anything more about you. And then our Associate Dean of Convergence, Josh Luer. I know a bunch of people on the Horseshoe are graduates of Bradley. Do we have any from the business school? No, although I did teach Linda's boss. Just to put that out there. Whereas Bradley University was founded in 1897 by Lydia Moss Bradley to provide students the means of becoming well-rounded, productive citizens, and whereas Bradley University's Foster College of Business is commemorating its 75th anniversary this year, having been established in 1949 as a center for academic excellence and innovation in business education. And whereas the Foster College of Business has grown over the decades into a nationally respected institution, recognized for preparing ethical and strategic leaders who are equipped to succeed in an ever-changing global economy. And whereas the Foster College of Business provides a comprehensive undergraduate education through 12 majors and 13 minors and offers 3 graduate degrees. And whereas the Foster College of Business is one of less than 2% of business schools worldwide to achieve and maintain prestigious dual accreditation in both business and accounting by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, AACSB. And whereas the college is home to the Turner Center for Entrepreneurship, which supports innovation and small business development across the region, and the Center for Cybersecurity, which equips students with critical skills in information security and digital risk management. And whereas the Foster College of Business continues to honor the legacy of its namesake, Caterpillar executive Robert A. Foster, whose vision and support helped shape a business college committed to academic rigor, real-world experience, and community impact. And whereas the college's distinguished faculty, dedicated alumni network, and industry partnerships have contributed significantly to economic development and leadership locally, nationally, and globally. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby congratulate the Foster College of Business at Bradley University on 75 years of excellence in business education, leadership development, and service to our community, dated this 8th day of May, AD 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Blair. Well, in addition to President Shadid and also Associate Dean Joshua Lohr, I'm joined here today by our Vice President for Enrollment Management and Marketing and also our Executive Director for Media Relations, Libby Derry. Thank you for joining us. And on behalf of the faculty, the students, the staff, and our worldwide alumni, I want to thank the Peoria County Board for this recognition and this honor. We really will cherish it. And, you know, I think one of the things that when I was reading this proclamation, almost everything what I wanted to say is already in here. But I just wanted to say that the other thing that we do very well in the Foster College and at Bradley University is to build those community relations. And we give back. And we really, all of us, the students, the faculty, and the staff, really believe in giving back to the community. So we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to develop those relationships in all of Central Illinois, and especially here in the greater Peoria region. So thank you again on behalf of all of us. I'd like President Shadid to say a few words. Josh.
Sure, just really quickly, because I know you don't want to hear me, you want to hear President Shadid, right? So I just want to say that we're in the sacred business of building people at Bradley, and we appreciate your partnership. For those of you that work with us on partnering with our students. As an example, about a week and a half ago, we had our capstone showcase and convergence open house. It was a convergence open house, and we had over 300 students who are going to be going out into the community here in the region and other places, and they're going to be making an impact. And we're so very proud of what we do. And thank you for this proclamation. But I'm going to turn it over to President Shadid.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Eden. And thank you, County Board members, for this recognition. I will simply follow the points being made here. For 128 years, the fortunes and the future of this community and Bradley University have been intertwined, and we will continue going forward to be a good community partner with you, and we appreciate all of the support that you give us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Chris.
Next, a proclamation thanking Woodruff Career and Technical Center. Arnie Bricks.
So first of all, these guys have been a huge help, you guys along with your students. As you know, member Renault and I have been working on celebrating the county's 200th birthday, and most of you have probably seen these beautiful pieces of art that are shaped like bison popping up all over the county, and we couldn't have done it without the help of you guys. So that's why we're doing this. Thank you so much. Whereas Peoria County is celebrating its 200th anniversary in 2025 with a large-scale community art project featuring fiberglass bison sculptures, and this project would not be possible without the dedication and generous donation of time and expertise from the students and faculty of Woodruff Career and Technical Center. And Woodruff Career and Technical Center offers robust career and technical programming that prepares Peoria Public Schools students for immediate entry into the workforce or post-secondary education opportunities under the leadership of Principal Arnold Spiker and auto body teacher Mr. Shelton Schuster. Industrial arts teacher Mr. Michael Bricks and their students have been instrumental in preparing the sculptures for display by clear coating them, providing a valuable hands-on learning experience in the process. And Woodruff Career and Technical Center has generously provided not only time and labor, but also space, serving as the delivery site and temporary home for the 40 blank bison sculptures prior to their distribution to local artists. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby extend our sincere thanks to Woodruff Career and Technical Center, its faculty, and its students for their outstanding contributions to Peoria County's bicentennial celebration.
So thank you very much for this. It was very unexpected. What started out as a very small project, we thought ended up being quite the endeavor that it has. But we're very thankful that we were asked to be part of the 200-year celebration for the county and with everything we've been able to do. So thank you very much for this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We got some for the students too. Yeah, there's some stuff in there too.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, well, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it.
And thanks. Just add, if nobody has had the opportunity to go to Woodruff, you should take the time to see what they're doing down there. They are doing amazing things, and it is really a hidden gem of Peoria Public Schools. And these two gentlemen and their staff are really top-notch, bar none, with what they're doing and the care for the kids that they do, the extracurricular activities they're doing. There's some amazing things happening there. So just not even, I know the culinary gets a lot of credit, but they have construction programs, hair programs, Brandy's got programs down, barbershop, so car maintenance, mechanical stuff. So some amazing things happening down there. So kudos to you and your team. Proclamation thanking Dave Ryan for his service to Peoria County.
Here we are again, Dave. I see Dave, what is it, about every month at the Ways and Means Committee, and he's always making a good presentation, giving us all the information we need in regards to assessments of our taxes. Thank you. So I'd like to take this opportunity to read a proclamation to you. Whereas Dave Ryan is retiring from his role as Peoria County Supervisor of Assessments on May 19th, and whereas Ryan has worked in the Supervisor of Assessments office for over 30 years and served as supervisor for 22 years. And whereas the Supervisor of Assessments office coordinates all tax assessments activity for Peoria County and applies property tax laws with integrity, efficiency, and fairness. And whereas the Supervisor of Assessments office also helps the public assess information and understand the property assessment process. Thank you for that. Whereas the Supervisor of Assessments office and its staff have received consistently high marks for their service to the public under Ryan's leadership. And whereas Ryan is also a longtime member of the Illinois County Assessment Office Association's Legislative Committee, which works to pass legislation streamlining assessment processes. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ryan and his colleagues won unanimous approval for the Illinois General Assembly for legislation automatically renewing the property tax exemptions of the most vulnerable. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby thank Dave Ryan for his decades of exemplary service to Peoria County and its citizen, and wish him the best in retirement. Dated this 8th day of May, AD 2025, James C. Dillon, Peoria County Chairperson, Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk.
I know we got a full agenda, so I'll make this pretty quick. Usually I get booed, so I do appreciate this. But I do want to thank, and I know I'll probably miss somebody, but I want to thank Scott and County Administration and Shauna for all the years that they've supported me. Everybody around the Horseshoe, Betty, obviously what the proclamation said, I can't do it without my staff, the staff that I've had. A lot of them are sitting over there, but the questions and things they answer to help the public, and that's where we get the high marks. That's where we get the high marks in customer service, is because of my staff, not because of me. So I do appreciate them. Everybody in senior management that I work with, the tax committee, keep the tax cycle on time, Nicole and her staff at the treasurer's office, Rachel and her staff at the county clerk's office. We work with Andrew in zoning quite a bit. IT department has done a lot for us too. So everybody in the staff that I've worked with, I do appreciate that. And a couple minutes, you'll appoint Chad Jones to be my successor, and he will do a great job. I promise you that. He's really good. So I do appreciate everybody. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Have to obviously mention my wife. For all the 30 years that I've been in the business, she's dealt with me coming home the time, and I do appreciate that. And I'll leave you with this, because people always say that, I can't believe you're doing what you do. It's got to be a really tough business, but actually the public of Peoria County, 99% of the people we deal with are great on an everyday basis. I know my staff is probably sick of hearing this, but 99% of the people we deal with are great. You just don't let the 1% ruin your day. But thank you. Yes. Please stand up there.
And your beautiful wife.
Job well done, Dave. Next, a proclamation thanking Beth Kreider for her service to Peoria County. Ryan, we should have done a 2-for-1 and got yours ready here.
Well, Beth, this is my honor to read this proclamation for you. You always give your informationals with so much enthusiasm and excitement. We're going to miss that. And we can only hope to, whoever succeeds you, can they come with the same level of energy, possibly?
That's a hard no.
I know. I knew it. Okay. Poor George. Oh, okay. Okay. Whereas Beth Kreider is retiring from her position as Peoria County Regional Superintendent at the end of this month. And whereas Kreider was first elected to the office of Regional Superintendent in 2014 after serving as an educator in Peoria Public Schools for more than 17 years. And whereas the Regional Superintendent serves all school districts in Peoria County by acting as the liaison between the Illinois State Board of Education and locally elected school boards. And whereas the Regional Office of Education also provides services including but not limited to GED testing services, health life safety inspections for all school buildings in Peoria County, truancy services, educator professional development, home and hospital tutoring services, and homeschooling services. And whereas the Peoria County Regional Office of Education also manages the Peoria Regional Learning Center, adult literacy tutoring services, GED classes at the Peoria County Jail, and early learning for all programs. Now, therefore, I, James C. Dillon, Chairperson of the Peoria County Board, on behalf of the County Board, do hereby thank Beth Kreider for serving the students, educators, and communities of Peoria and Regional Superintendent, and wish her the best in her retirement. Dated this 8th day of May, AD 2025, signed by James C. Dillon, Peoria County Chairperson, and Rachel Parker, Peoria County Clerk.
Thank you so much. I cried today doing my last bank statement, so I wrote a couple comments on my phone so that I didn't get off track. But two things before I start. First of all, Mr. Brooks that was here, this week he's building a free little library for the new Health and Human Services campus with his students, and that will be installed in the next couple weeks. And number two, did you know that it's Teacher Appreciation Week? Everyone in this room is here because of a teacher. There's that one, I know there is. Mr. Lowry, shout out. So if you have a teacher, if they're still alive, please send them a note. And if they're not, or if you remember them well, please put it on your social media. Just write something about your favorite teacher. We all have one, and it might have been a coach. So quickly, I just want to thank you for the proclamation. That was unexpected. I would like to explain my why. I believe that public education is the bedrock of our democracy. Without it, there are no other professions. You are all in here because of great teachers. I also believe it to be the great diversity, equity, and inclusion experiment. We take all diverse students, we include everyone, and we give them the equity of opportunity so that they can be what they want to be, that they can take their passions and be what they want to be. My passion has always been and will always be one thing: school. I knew I wanted to be a teacher in second grade, and I never changed my mind. It's the opportunity to get out of poverty, be a doctor, be an artist, or whatever it is that your heart so desires. I want you to know that I applied myself to this office with the best of my ability, and any mistakes that I made are solely on me. I have the best leadership team in the entire world that I inherited from my predecessor, Dr. Jerry Brookhart, and that I've been able to build upon and make it shine even more. And many thank yous to my family, specifically my husband, who could join me tonight, who's retiring from Peoria High School at the end of this year as the athletic director. Very proud of him. And lost my way, sorry. He already had to endure one retirement speech from me, so I'm not going to do that again. Many thanks to my leadership team and all of our programs. They are what make the regional office great. And I always end with my parents because they're the ones that made the path clear for me. And tonight, you get the opportunity to post Dr. George McKenna to the Peoria County Regional Office of Education. And may I say that it's been an honor to serve. And I just can't imagine anyone more dynamic or innovative to take over this role. Congratulations to you for promoting Dr. George McKenna. Great things are ahead for the regional office. Thank you.
Beth, I just want to say, job well done. You left it in a much better place than you found it. You every day were a joy to work with. We wish we had more elected officials and more. You came in with a great attitude. Even on the worst days, you found a way to make everybody around you work harder, believe in the mission. And I know the superintendents around here are greatly going to miss you. Thank you for training George up. George will definitely not be as cheerleader-esque and rah, rah, rah. George will just tell you he wants to go to make a knife in his... But George is great, and George is actually cannot be here tonight. He would love to be here, but he is actually applied. It was a very tough competitive program. He is in Utah for a FBI training class for risk assessment right now. So George is an expert when it comes to facilities and risk assessment. So we will be in good hands because you put us in good hands. So Thank you. Member Alsasser.
Beth, you mentioned Ron Lowry. I think you said he was inspired. You were inspired by him. He's good friends with my wife's family, and he told my wife, and I won't say how old she is, but she looks a lot younger. But he's in his 90s, and he's out there working in his garden right next to us, and he was just a staple in Dunlap High School. I mean, so teachers they're people you just never forget.
He's a special human being.
And Coach Salzer is probably one of the most famous teachers in Peoria County from his years at Peoria High. And one of my teachers this year was a very good teacher, Mr. Jim Runyon from League of Women Voters. So thank you both. Any other teachers in audience tonight? Well, thank you to the teachers. Next is we have an Ameren presentation that was presented in land use. Do they have a slide deck, Andrew?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick Dahlman, a project manager for Ameren, Illinois, and the project manager for the Peoria Energy Center project. Joining me today to my right is Rod Hilburn with Ameren, Illinois, the manager of Ameren Technology Application Center, as well as Ruthie Bertram, Ameren, Illinois Community Relations. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to present the Peoria Energy Center project this evening. On the slide, you can see the location of this energy center. It is located south of West Pottstown Road, east of North Pritchard Road, and inside the 474 loop. So how did this project come about? In September of 2021, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed Senate Bill 2408, the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, into law. Included in the provisions of this legislation is the ability for Ameren, Illinois to own and operate pilot solar generating facilities. This law allows for facilities to be constructed in both East St. Louis and Peoria area communities. Total expenditures for constructing each facility is to be less than $20 million per the law. In addition, for the Peoria Energy Center project, 12% of the workforce labor to construct the facility must come from the surrounding equity, eligible, or environmental justice communities. And then I'll turn it over to Mr. Rod Hilburn, who will discuss technical aspects of the project. Yeah, yes.
So before I go through this slide, part of the equity eligible and the environmental justice also drives the location where we selected this site, because there is environmental justice, geologic or geographic areas, as well as there is the R3, which is the reinvest, renew, restore areas of the state. And so this particular site fits within both of those categories, and so that's part of the reason why we selected this site. If you're looking at the orange and blue on the slide, those are basically the solar panels that makes up the 2.5 megawatts of AC power. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a red dotted line. That is a 50-foot setback from the property owner that is in northwest of our site. There's also a red dotted line across the bottom of the page, which is the 50-foot setback. So we meet those municipal codes, as well as there's a couple of orange dots or dashed lines that show the 150-foot setback. So we've achieved what's supposed to be done as far as the municipal code. The way that this energy is going to be removed from the site, or basically interconnected to the grid, there is a line in the upper right-hand corner that is kind of diagonal, that comes across to the north side of the site, comes back to the west, and then comes down south to an area of what we call the energy hub. It's kind of the black area in the center of the drawing. That is where we have all of the inverters that take the DC power that the solar panels create. They convert the DC power to AC power, and then the AC power is then run through transformers and stepped up to the medium voltage distribution line, which is at 13.2 kV. The Energy Hub also has a 1.5 megawatt battery. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery provided to us by a company called Elm. The battery consists of 6 containers that have battery modules in them, and then there's a couple of other boxes, one for system protection, one for cooling, that makes up the Energy Hub. Just to give you an idea what a battery looks like, on the left-hand side of the screen is our latest battery that Ameren, Illinois has deployed. This is at our East St. Louis Solar Center. It is a 0.5 megawatt or 500 kW battery. It's rated for 2 hours. The first battery that Ameren, Illinois embarked on was done back in 2016, which is at our Technology Application Center, which is where that's what my full-time job is I manage that testing facility. So that is a little smaller unit. It was a 252 hour that has been in service with us, since 2016. To give you an idea of kind of what you're going to see for the Peoria site, on the left-hand side, the battery modules are stacked. There's 8 of them stacked on one on top of each other. So there's 16 per box. So that kind of gives you an idea what the battery modules look like. At the top that you can't see, that's the location where there's some DC disconnects that automatically isolate the batteries if something happens. The battery systems are protected through 8 different layers of different sensing and control modules that basically turn the batteries off if everything is not the way it's supposed to be. The all-in, if all 8 of those levels of protection are not successful, then the last 2 pictures basically is the controls as well as a fire suppression system that deploys a gas that removes oxygen from the environment to allow the fire to actually be extinguished. One of the things that we have to do with this project is we had to establish a project labor agreement, and we're in the process of doing that very thing. The 4 companies that are basically partnered with us on this project, Azimuth Energy is the engineering firm, as well as the project management firm that is responsible for the project. Guarantee Electric, Azimuth Energy is headquartered in Fenton, Missouri. Guarantee Electric is from St. Louis. They are basically providing superintendent role. They've helped us with our first 2 projects that we did at East St. Louis. So they're going to give us some oversight to help be cohesive with what we've already done. Terra 5 is the company. They're from St. Jacobs that are going to be doing our civil work. And then finally, Zeller Electric is the local electrical contractor that we're hiring as part of our partnership that we have with those individuals. Let's see. The one other thing that the project labor agreement requires is that we are required by the law to pay prevailing wages to our workers, which I like to highlight that particular aspect of the project.
So what is shown here is the schedule that this project has been working under. In 2023, Ameren purchased the property for the project. During the year 2024, we conducted geotechnical surveys, environmental surveys, and also commenced with pre-construction activities. Bringing us to 2025, where now we are here for requesting the Peoria County Special Use Permit. We are also completing pre-construction activities, and we are mobilizing to commence construction in 2025. In 2026, we plan to complete construction, commission the facility, and place the project in service. So how does this benefit the local community? We've summarized it in some bullet points here. This project will support the state of Illinois' renewable energy goals. It will also bring cutting-edge technology to the area. specifically the batteries. It will continue the region's role in the growth of green technology and support long-term environmental stewardship. It incorporates the on-site battery storage technology as well as bring local tax revenue to the area. It will create approximately 50 construction jobs utilizing local labor, as Rod discussed previously. It also will have, the project has a vegetative landscape screen which will be planted along the south neighbor's property as requested by the neighbor. The solar panel area and 20 feet outside the fence will be planted with low growth grasses and a pollinator species, as we've had discussions with Peoria County Fire to ensure it meets their needs. The remaining area of the site will be planted with a native pollinator species. And lastly, the Peoria Solar Energy Center is a continuation of Ameren, Illinois' commitment to building a stronger regional economy. Next slide. And that concludes the presentation on the Peoria Energy Center. Thank you.
Questions, comments? Member Ricker.
Not a question, well, more of a comment, but under benefits, if I've read the material correctly, this land was not in production as farmland, so we're not removing productive farmland to build this farm. Is that correct?
It was in production prior to us purchasing the property, but it has not been in production for the last year since we owned it.
Member Phelan.
In the presentation, it said 420 homes and businesses, but the resolution says 420 homes and does not make mention of businesses. Could you elaborate on that?
So the businesses and homes that are served out of the Nebraska Street substation, which is east and almost directly east of the site, because you have to go down Route 8 to the south in order to then go east and then come back to the north where Nebraska is at. The Nebraska substation serves everything to the west of Route 8 in that area, as well as it would be, I'm trying to think how to describe where the distribution line goes up the hill, and the Nebraska substation actually is on top of the hill that's on the east side of Kickapoo Creek. So the businesses would be in that general area. I don't know if I've described it well enough for you.
That's Farmington Road, Danny.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Member Rulon.
I had the pleasure of hearing this presentation in committee, and I want to comment on the sensitivity used in site assessment. I think they've done a fantastic job. This project, because of the batteries, is a test bed for how this work can be completed in the future. And I hope that Peoria County will look at this in the future and add some of the requirements that we're seeing built in voluntarily here in projects as we review them going forward. Alternative energy, as far as I'm concerned, this is how alternative energy should be done. And I congratulate Ameren for making the investment to show the way for the future.
Any other questions? Member Alsasser.
I also want to thank Ameren for your thinking outside the box and bringing a project forward like this, because other than tariffs and DOGE, I mean, Ameren bills to our consumers is by far the most widely discussed topic of discussion when you're out on the street, and everybody's so worried about how much they're going to go up in the coming years and how they're going to be able to afford it. So anything we can do to keep those rates down is important, because I know one of your goals is to support the regional economy, and in order to do that, we need to keep people here. We got to make sure that they can make a living and pay their bills.
Just one, Member Rosenbaum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you guys expand on the fire safety and so forth with working with our local fire department, that so the rest of the board can hear what you told us at our land use committee, please?
Sure. So one of the things that we did after the zoning board is that we offered to provide a tour, and so of our East St. Louis site, so they could actually come down and see what the battery looks like. And so we had 3 individuals come down, 2 from Peoria County, 1 from the city of Peoria Fire Department, to come down and see the battery and kind of see the components that are inside of it. This particular battery has 8 layers or 8 levels of protection built into it. It has the overall site controller that is monitoring the batteries, as well as all the protection systems, as well as all the other components that are on the site as the first layer of protection. Then there is a battery monitoring system, which we call a BMS, that is the next layer, which is just monitoring how the batteries themselves are performing. The third layer is an e-stop that if we're on site or if the system senses that there's something going wrong, the e-stop automatically basically causes the contactors on the DC system and the AC system to open up so that you're totally isolating the battery at that point. If that doesn't work, then there's also something called off-gassing. The nature of lithium-ion batteries, when they start to get hot, if they start to get into something called thermal runaway, they actually produce a hydrogen gas that we have a sensor in there that allows us to turn the system off, basically limiting the damage that happens to the batteries. We have smoke detectors as similar, as well as heat detectors are also similar. The other thing that we've learned in the battery industry is that we had firefighters out in Arizona when they opened up the battery, a big explosion occurred because the gases had built up inside the container, and the fire, when oxygen was introduced, hydrogen, oxygen, and a flame, they had a big explosion, and unfortunately some firefighters were killed. We have active venting on this particular system so that if we do sense gas or smoke, those vents automatically open to let that out so that we can't have an explosion. And then finally, the battery modules themselves go through Underwriter Laboratory testing. They are certified to pass that test. So they basically, the test is designed to isolate the battery itself. If the fire starts in the battery module itself, it still contains itself in that battery module and doesn't propagate through the system. Then finally, if all else fails, there is a fire suppression system that will deploy that takes away all the oxygen. That is the last fail-safe that we have. So it's a pretty robust protection system that we are deploying. Paul, did I give you everything? Is that all you were wanting me to cover? So I've owned this set that we have in Champaign, and they haven't been there yet. So, other than I've trained it.
Paul, you need to talk into the microphone. So
sorry about that. You had mentioned that the way it's designed, the fire departments, you've got to design where they won't have to come, that you guys have it all taken care of.
That's the first part of the test or training that we're going to tell them is that you couldn't come in the gate, but we would prefer you stay back and let us go take care of it.
Thank you.
From that perspective.
I want people to realize that
we are going to give them training, but it's really, we're going to have our folks trained better than what we're going to be able to provide to the fire department because they have knowledge of the system themselves.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Any other questions from the comment? So I just want to try to be quick. 3 reasons why this is a big deal. So first battery system in Peoria County that we'll have. We know we've talked about it and had other things, but this will be the first live one. So appreciate the tour that you gave. Second reason this is a big deal is this is Ameren getting back in the generation business. So when we get bills, they're from transmission. The bills when we buy power is from somebody else, from the deregulation market. Ameren can only transmit it. They weren't allowed to produce it and generate it. So this legislation allowed Ameren in East St. Louis and Peoria on pilot projects to actually be back in the generation business in Illinois, where in Missouri they generate power, but in Illinois they were only allowed transmission. So that's a big deal that they're back in the generation game. And lastly, as the Peoria is the center of the earth comment, Elm is Lee Graves and his company. They do have offices here. I believe those batteries are made in Texas, and that part of the business is in Texas, but it does have the Peoria connection to it. So wish Mr. Graves and his company very much success in the future endeavors for that. Anything else? Seeing none, I know it says we have one last thing on that. Thank you, Amron. It's anniversary time. So speaking of happy people that always have a smile on their face, it's Miss Duncan's 5-year anniversary. So time flies. Happy anniversary, Betty. Thank you for your leadership. Go ahead, Betty. Betty, say something.
You caught me, and such an honor. Appreciate you all. It's been wonderful working with everyone here. I've learned so much. Sharon started me off, and there she is way over there. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Next, we would be at citizens' remarks. I received none. So that brings us to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to put this on the floor? Member Phelan, Member Blair. Would there like to be Member Williams?
We'd like to pull 8.16, which is the appointments.
Thank you. Anything else that would need to be pulled? Member Ruin?
9.6 was pending committee approval. I'm not sure what the protocol here is for pulling it or leaving it.
Yeah, 9.6 is standalone.
9.6. Okay. Okay.
The 8s are on the consent agenda.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I missed it.
Which I think our rules say if you do it before, they cannot. It has to go on the. Anything else to be pulled? Seeing none, please vote on the consent agenda minus appointments.
I think we got everyone.
Oh, on the regular.
15 ayes.
Next, we'd be to appointments. Is there a motion to put that on the floor? Member Williams, second by Member Ricker. So, I'll open it up to comments, but I'll just address why I wanted to have the appointments here, and I'm going to have them come up and speak. So tonight's a big night. There's some appointments that are on here. Not every day do you get the chance to, that is the one power of the chair for anybody, is to make appointments. We have 2 county-wide electeds that are going to take a well-deserved retirement before their term's over, and they have both consulted with me and given their successors, which I think you will both find to be more than capable and do a great job for Peoria County. I know in the past we've done interviews, and those had also happened when we've had countywide electeds that have passed away. I was doing things differently, and I took in consultation with Beth and Nicole for what was best for their office. Just like we have a big appointment tonight with Chad Jones, where the board asked for succession planning. These offices also did take it upon themselves for some succession planning. And these both will have to run for the office in the future. They know that, but I think these will be in good hands. I appreciate Jenny and State's Attorney Hoos for doing some research. Beth is basically at the end of the month, and Nicole will not be until July. But I wanted to make these appointments at the start of it so that they can hit the ground running and that it's seamless transition. Brandon Martin, I think you will find to be more than capable and a great addition to the county. And this way he can come in, learn the office, start the transition process, that there is not a gap or a standstill. So I think it's what's best for the county at this time. Like I said, they both will have to run for these offices in the future. This is nothing guaranteed. But it is a good transition position where we've continually talked about succession planning for the county. So I'm proud to put George, Chad up, which I think we did create that job to help in this transition for Chad's position, and Brandon forward. So when we do nominate them, I did ask if they want to say a few words for this. I know it's a big night for them and their families and the electeds that have been stewards of that office for a long time, to transition that over to the next leadership to move us forward. So I just wanted to highlight those and appreciate everybody's insight and input and how I came to that decision. And I think you will be more than pleased with where we're going. So with that, is there any comments on the appointments? And speaking of which, there is also another major appointment on there, which was Marcellus Somerville going on the Sheriff's Merit Commission. Like all those appointments, I did take in consultation with the sheriff, and 100% in agreement that Marcellus will do an amazing job on the Merit Commission, which means no police officer is hired or disciplined in this community without that board's say-so. So Marcellus will have a hand on all future employments there, and I think he'll be a great addition to the sheriff's team. Any comments on this point? It's Member Williams and Member Ricker. Seeing none, please cast your vote.
Fifteen ayes.
So I'm going to take the privilege of the chair. I had asked Beth just to say a few words on George's behalf. You didn't even cry when you were doing your own retirement.
Okay, where to start? When there was an opening for the assistant regional superintendent, I wanted to hire to bolster my weaknesses. So I looked for a specific candidate that balanced out some of the things that I bring to the table. I can be a little enthusiastic. I am a 17-year kindergarten teacher that taught for Peoria Public Schools. I'm from here. And so when I tell people that I hired for kind of the opposite of me, people are like, you nailed it. Nailed it. So Dr. George McKenna was a teacher. He was a football coach. He's been at Limestone. He's been at Pekin. And most recently, several years ago, he's been the assistant now for almost 10 years. And he was at Herscher High School and was the principal there. And so we've been working together. We do have some commonalities. We're both redheads, very important at the ROE. And number two, we both have that vision of service for students, educators, and community. I think you're going to be more than pleased because all this semester we've been working on this transition. And quite honestly, people have been coming to me and I'm like, that sounds like a Dr. George McKenna problem. So I'm very excited for what he's going to bring to you. And then we will move Dr. Amy Smith into the assistant role, former principal and teacher, assistant principal and teacher in the Dunlap school system. And so, folks, you're going to be very, very pleased. It's an honor to be able to speak on his behalf.
Nicole, would you please come up and introduce Brandon? And we will eventually get to a proclamation from Nicole, but Nicole will still be with us through July, through middle of July.
Can't get rid of me that easy. So when I decided to retire, actually COVID threw a lot of wrenches into a whole bunch of plans. And after COVID, I was actually able to get a staff that I thoroughly enjoy now and that are competent and good and excellent at customer service in what they do. and when I look at retirement, I wanted to get somebody else in there that can take that staff and move them even farther forward. They're going to be a tremendous support system for Brandon. Brandon brings an enthusiasm and energy that I've been there for a long time, and I'm ready. So I want to introduce Brandon Martin and let him talk a little bit about himself and his accomplishments.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I'm truly humbled, very excited to be a part of the city and Peoria community and county. As your next county treasurer, I believe that accountability and fiscal responsibility is very important. With my experience in business, with retail, real estate, logistics, and finance, I know how to stay lean and work efficiently and deliver results, and I continue to bring that mindset to the Peoria County Treasurer's Department. So I want to thank Treasurer Bierke for laying the groundwork. I look forward to continuing her success, and I'm ready to get to work. So thank you.
Last but not least, Chad, do you want to say a few things for the appointment?
Thank you all. Some of you may not recognize me. I usually have a hat on, so and Coach Salzer, I was in government class years, so thank you. Proud graduate of Peoria High School, so I appreciate that. My favorite teacher is back there is my mom, Laura Jones, and she's back there today, so thank you. Dave Ryan has done a great job here from Peoria County, and I appreciate him giving me the opportunity. I had worked on the board review for a few years before then, and with the board review, Colleen Whalen showed me the ropes, and I appreciate her. The assessment world is not something you ever really dream of getting into, but because of the people that work here, it's really great, and I've met a lot of new people since I started full time. Administration, Scott and Sean have been great. I appreciate finance department, human resources, all that. They've all been really good to work with. There's a great staff here at Peoria County, but none better than the supervisor of assessment staff, and most of them are here tonight. John and Christy and Yvette, who am I missing over there? Jim and Colleen are all here, and I appreciate them showing up and the support. So that's great. Chairman Dillon, I appreciate the opportunity and the confidence, and to the board, thank you. And I've got big shoes to fill. We had an assessor meeting a couple of weeks ago, and Dave was retiring, and they were talking about that, and the word legend was battered about quite a few times. So I've got big shoes to fill. I know that, and I'll do my very best. So thank you.
And so Chad has a 4-year appointment. And the reason I wanted Chad to speak and highlight is this is a success story. So like he mentioned, he agreed to serve on the ZBA, which is not an easy task in itself, that you take the state exam. When we've always talked about succession planning and leaving the county, I got to give staff credit, this horseshoe credit, and Dave Ryan credit. When Colleen, who is a legend in her own right in the office, was retiring, we saw the opportunity to bring Chad basically in as a full-time employee, so knowing that Dave was going to eventually retire, so that there would be some sort of succession plan. So if you guys did not have the foresight to bring that to the board, if the board had not agreed to that, we could have been stuck. And I think when we keep talking about leaving the place better and we found it in succession planning, tonight is a good night, and that's why I wanted to highlight all those. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to the staff that has made that an exceptional office for all these years. And Dave, well done. And Chad, I know big shoes to fill, but I know you will meet all that and take the office and make it your own. So thank you.
Okay. We'd be at item number 9, zoning ordinances and resolutions. 9.1 is zoning case ZBA 2025-0014, a petition of Michael Stiegmeyer. A resolution request from C2 General Commercial to A2 Agriculture. The petitioner proposes to rezone 0.95 acres in order to convey property to an adjacent landowner.
Member Rosenbaum. Member Rulon. Member Rosenbaum.
This case is just a simple one where the landowner owns his property, used to have a business on it, and just wants to change the, rezone it to make it the way the rest of his property is, because he closed the business down.
Thank you, Member Rosenbaum. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call. Or please vote.
Fifteen ayes. Item number 2, zoning case ZBA 2025-0019, petition of Friends of Wildlife Prairie Park, a special use request from section 20-5.2.2.3.f of the Unified Development Ordinance, which allows for recreational vehicle parks, subject to the provisions of section 7.1. The petitioner proposes to develop a recreational vehicle campground and upgrade existing amenities in the A2 Agriculture Zoning District.
Member Rosenbaum, Member Ruland. Member Rosenbaum.
I'm really excited about this one because Peoria County really doesn't have a good campground. This will be, I believe, 40 lots out there by Wildlife Prairie Park. This will be a beautiful spot. I think it's going to bring a lot to our area, a lot of tax dollars, more people coming to visit. There's so much going on, and there's no place for people that are coming into Peoria to do stuff to have a really good campground at, those that have recreational vehicles. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this and see how it turns out.
Thank you, Member Rosenbaum. And Roberta, welcome. Roberta English from Wildlife Prairie Park is in attendance, the petitioner. So you're doing amazing things out there and great things. Keep up the good work. Member Rosenbaum?
Does she have anything she'd like to add on it?
Any comments, Roberta? So she said she's really excited too and thinks it'll be great for the whole area. Seeing any other comments, please vote.
Fifteen ayes. Item 9.4 is a multi-township bids received for seal coat for the township motor fuel tax. A resolution from your county infrastructure committee recommending approval of the lowest qualified bids for seal coating, microservicing work done in Akron, Brimfield, Chillicothe, Elmwood, Hollick, Jubilee, Kickapoo, Logan, Princeville, Radnor, Rosefield, Timber, and Trevoli townships.
So moved. Member Rosenbaum, Member Rulon. Sorry, I usually go chair and vice chair.
I know it.
Point of order. We did skip one. Is that intended?
Oh.
She read ours. She read mine.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't. Okay. Member Salzer. Member Windish.
I did. I read the wrong thing.
Did you read?
She skipped.
You read the seal coat one.
She skipped one on zoning.
We'll go back to the petition of Ameren, Illinois.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'm trying to speed through the meeting. Let's go back to the 9.3.
Do you want to go to 9.4? Let's just go 9.3 and then we'll go back to 9.4. So go to 9.3.
Yeah, let's do this.
What are we doing?
9-3 is Ameren. So do you want to go the Ameren one, 9-3, or do you want to go through the one?
Let's do 9-3.
Okay. Item 9.3, zoning case ZBA 2025-0017, petition of Ameren, Illinois. A special use request from section 20-5.2.2.2.H of the Unified Development Ordinance. This section allows for a special use in the A2 agricultural zoning district for a commercial solar energy facility, provided that the conditions in section 7.17 of these regulations are met.
Member Rosenbaum. Member Rosenbaum.
Don't mean to be so talkative tonight, but this is another exciting one that we're finally getting a battery storage facility along with the solar, so we'll be able to save that excess energy and use it during the night. So, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, please vote.
Fourteen ayes and one nay, with member Wendish voting nay. Now we're at 9.4. Do you want me to reread that?
Yes, please.
9.4 is multi-township bids received for seal coat. A resolution from your county infrastructure committee recommending approval of the lowest qualified bids for seal coating microsurfacing work done in Akron, Brimfield, Chillicothe, Elmwood, Hollick, Jubilee, Kickapoo, Logan, Princeville, Radnor, Rosefield, Timber, and Tivoli townships.
Member
So moved.
Member Salzer and Member Duncan.
This is just the annual township motor fuel tax that our engineer, Amy McLaren, will handle. And there were 3 different contractors who were awarded the various townships and so forth.
Thank you, Member Salzer. Member Windish, you'll be abstaining, since he is a township road commissioner. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, please vote.
– 14 ayes and 1 abstention, with member Wendish abstaining. Item 9.5 is the Courthouse Plaza block renovations. A resolution from your county infrastructure committee recommending approval of the $6,756,719 guaranteed maximum price from Core Construction Services of Illinois for Courthouse Plaza and block renovations.
Member Salzer and Member Coates.
This is just our beautification of the Courthouse Plaza, which all of us, seem to be asking for and so forth. And it was an add-on of for the bricks around these soldiers and sailors area, and it was almost $197,000.
So I am going to have, for a brief bio, Kyle Smith. As a little bit of an introduction, I know he was at committees, but Kyle is our new assistant administrator, handling the facilities and other projects. So Kyle, if you could just come up, welcome to Peoria County. I just wanted you to give a brief, I know this was in committees and we just had a committee beforehand, but just brief explanation of what we're doing.
Yes, good evening again. So what this is this this came to the infrastructure committee at their normally scheduled meeting, and it was determined that alternate number 3 was to be accepted as well. That was left off the initial proposal when it first came to infrastructure committee. So we took this opportunity to bring it back this evening, include that alternate number 3, which is to fully replace the pavers, not just repair damaged ones. It's to replace all the pavers that surround the Sailor Memorial. And so that has raised the new guaranteed maximum price to the 6.7 in change that the chairman indicated. And so really, this was just a matter of expediency, and just felt that it was a bit cleaner to handle it this way rather than push it through and then immediately come back for a change order. So we took this opportunity to revise the initial project as it was brought to infrastructure committee. It was approved it was recommended for approval by that committee earlier this evening, and so it's back before you all for final approval. And this would if this all goes according to plan and the commission decides to move forward with the project as proposed, the mobilization would begin the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
So this has a very tight time frame, hoping to have it up this fall. So when we do have our 200th celebration, I know we had a presentation given to the board, but this reimagines what the courthouse and will take us forward for the next 200 years. We're going to have exterior lighting, new plants, new trees, water features that everybody has grown to love down here, new sculptures put in on there. So as we see Caterpillar investing back in their facilities downtown, you see some other investments downtown. This is really to clean up the exterior. We'll have the exterior of the courthouse with Western Net finishing up that. Excited to see where this goes and looks like for at the courthouse. So just wanted to make sure, I know we've talked about it, this is something at 6.7 million. I think we need to celebrate it and talk about it a little bit. Mr. Member Phelan?
I only want to point out more of a comment than anything. I'm happy to see this investment being made. However, I would like to think that regular or routine maintenance could have put us in a better position where we spent less money. And I know this board is committed right now to making a lot of capital improvements, and we have a brand new facility. So I would just like to say that, to keep in mind that we continue to make upkeep, regular routine maintenance to our facilities rather than make large investments like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Fallon. Member Ricker?
Yeah, I have a few comments. I've been an advocate for the upgrade of the plaza. I think I've discussed it for several years in need. So proponent, I'm going to maybe raise some challenges here. My expectation was this was going to be a $2.5 to $3 million, not a 6.7. And some of the questions that come to mind with me was, what scope did we have on this project when we put it out to engineering to develop? And then the engineering company doing their position and their job came up with a $6.7 million plan. And when I highlight this, we had a very similar project with the Health and Human Service campus that, as most of us around this horseshoe remember, that engineering firm, architect firm, came in about 2x of what we were originally planning, about $28 million.
through value engineering, work together between the county, the architect firm, and the construction firm. They brought that down around 21 million. And I'd like to really highlight the fact that it came in under budget. So a lot of good work. I didn't see those similar actions here to do value engineering, to look at ways to make a beautiful plaza and place for us and to value it. I still think this dollar amount is higher than what's necessary. I do have a couple other concerns. Looking at the plans of what we've been shown, we have a water jet splash pad, I'll call the area like a river scenario with bison that will be placed in it. Concern around safety, how do you manage pedestrians and people around that when the water is, jets are coming up from the surface? And the wet bison, it appears from the dollar diagram, the bison are going to be in the stream of the water. So there's some concerns there that I'd like to see vetted out to make sure that the illustrations and the image is accurate and the outcome. The other thing was on usability. That plaza, that lower level of the plaza has been used by the schools when they do their spring musicals. They can set up, there's a lot of space there for usability for other organizations that come in and do events. The design is nice, I don't have any issue with it, but it really, with the river and the prairie grass, kind of eliminates a functional area in that lower plaza for people to use for seating. And then probably the last thing is, I know we have, and Chairman's mentioned, we have a deadline. I'm going to call it an imposed deadline for a celebration that we're planning. I feel like maybe we've rushed this just because of the deadline. I'm all for the bicentennial celebration, but we do have other locations. If this isn't ready in time, we own a beautiful property called the Riverfront Museum that could be used for the celebration. So I still think there's work to be done. So from that standpoint, I will be a no vote, might be the only. But again, I want to be very clear. I am for upgrading. I just think there's some gaps and things that weren't finished on this project that I'm not comfortable to vote yes. Thank you.
So I'll address those, and maybe Scott can address those if I'm missing some gaps. So I don't remember if it exact time frame, but it would have been when we had a policy discussion, because this is a pivot, if you recall, of our initial ARPA discussions, where when we had a broad discussion of how we wanted to allocate ARPA dollars and move some things around. It was brought up in that discussion of Terra Engineering had put out multiple grants to try to get us to help the exterior of the courthouse. We were unsuccessful in that, but I think the board liked hearing what we were hearing about that, because we were really hodgepodge at that part. It was, maybe we'll put a little money towards fixing the fountain. Maybe that tree needs fixed. And we had no thought process in it. We were just, and I shouldn't say that, staff knew what was broke, knew what fixed. We had lights that needed to be done. But in that general discussion, it was brought up about Terra's master plan. So I think that was about a year ago. I think the board liked it in there. If I'm not mistaken, this is about where we budgeted for the project. Maybe slightly higher, but right around in that this was always intended to be about a $6 million project. So it was never a $2 million project that then we intended to go get more. And we shifted money from ARPA, and I think there was some general capital money budgeted for that. So we asked Terra, they had a very basic design for that, and wanted to keep the water features. I think that was taken from consultation of multiple employees that work down here, electeds, and wanted to keep some sort of light feature and basically re-envision what that does. And then we knew that we had estimates from, I think it was $1 million to redo the concrete. If we would have redone that when they wanted us to a couple years ago, that would have been concrete down around the thing. What we did on this one is we have multiple bids and alternates that were included. So not just all concrete. You will see concrete on the steps and other places, but this is going to put permeable pavers in there. There is a stormwater utility fee. I'm sure we pay some. It's not probably $6.5 million, but it is to bring down our overall long-term maintenance expenses on that. So I apologize if anybody feels that this was rushed or over what it was, but I think that it was always intended to be around this when it was presented. And timelines that the conversation did start about, it's been in design process for quite a few months, I'd say 6 months or longer. And I think that is one of the intentions when we hired Kyle and Melissa is we've seen it on some other things similar to discussion what we had tonight on some errors and omissions is hiring Kyle, and this is not anything against staff in the past or Scott or Calvin and the leadership of there, is somebody to genuinely stay on top of these firms to move these projects along at a much faster pace than what we've been seeing from them. So we're here. Everybody knows that that is capable. They have time built in to get these projects hour-wise, unless we have some monsoons that we are unforeseen, would be one of the main reasons to have this project delayed. But did I miss many things from them, my recollection?
You covered it well, Mr. Chairman.
Member Allison?
I can address the piece about the bicentennial celebration. We actually pushed the celebration back to October upon getting the deadline of completion that was expected. We had planned on doing the original celebration in early September. So our date actually moved once we found out that courtyard was going to be done, or the plaza was going to be done at that time. So it wasn't the opposite for that purpose.
Member Phelan.
I think I heard you say it. I just wanted to clarify that staff input was received during the design process. Is that what was said? Is that accurate?
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
I believe, and employee input as well on some.
Yeah. No formal feedback process, but more informal and anecdotal feedback from employees and elected officials.
Member Rulin.
I just want to say a few words in support of this, in that county government, city government, state government are in a unique position to support public art. And if you go to Chicago and don't see it, you probably didn't go to Chicago. You might have taken a wrong turn. Springfield, St. Louis, Indianapolis, incredible places to see public art, almost all of it with a government entity having, promoted it, funded it, and so forth. I think this is a huge, huge commitment for Peoria County to undertake. I think there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of school students with their pictures taken in front of this display for various events that they'll be there for. I think there'll be holiday celebrations. I think people will come down and have wedding photos taken in this plaza. It's going to be very, very nice. And I would applaud Peoria County for taking a huge step. This is something that always gets pushed to a back burner somewhere. I'm really glad we're not doing that. That's it.
Member Rosenbaum.
I'm just going to have to say I got to abstain from voting because of conflict of interest. Other than that,
thank you, Member Rosenbaum. Member Daly.
Maybe I missed it, but I am very interested in the specific landscaping plants that we're going to put there. And so how do I get that information?
That detail is not in the packet, Ms. Daly, but what we will do is we'll get that and distribute that out so you can see that. In terms of like number of plantings,
species of vegetation, whether it be tree or shrub or flower, we can pull all that information for you.
And somebody can show me a picture of what these look like spring, summer, fall, and winter.
We will make every effort to do that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Member Daly. That's why I originally asked you to do the garden one. Any other questions? So, Kyle, welcome to the team. He's been here since about a month. And I wanted to take this time, big exciting, another addition to the team. Welcome Melissa to Peoria County, who started on Monday. Any other comments? Please vote. Salzer and Coe. I think it was Salzer.
Duncan, Elsasser, Ricker, or no, Duncan and Elsasser.
Duncan and Elsasser. Brian.
Yeah, he just voted against. Remember, Duncan, if you tell me, I can go ahead and, yes, okay. Twelve ayes, 2 nays, and 1 abstention. The nays are Elsasser and Ricker, and the abstention is Rosenbaum. We are at item 9.6, a change order to the courthouse facade project. A resolution from your infrastructure committee recommending approval of a change order to the courthouse exterior repairs and cleaning contract with Western Specialty Contractors in the amount of $64,250.
Member Salzer, Member Ruland. Member Salzer?
Do we need a motion here to change this resolution?
So it says it in here wrong, but she read the correct alternate of the question that was split. So we're at what was approved out of committee at the 60-something.
Okay, as approved out of committee, I want everybody to know that our committee split this resolution. And it had to do, of course, with an engineering firm and the caulking of our windows and so forth. And we had great discussion in our committee. And I would yield to Mr. Ruland to talk about the resolution that we eventually adopted. And it was adopted, we will tell you, by a vote of 4-3. So, Mr. Ruland, I yield to you.
There is a discrepancy between the portion of this change order that relates to the north or newer part of the building. The lion's share, the $64,250 that relates to the Main Street side of the building, is intact and moving forward with committee approval. The balance of that change order, I would say, will be a subject of some negotiation, hopefully within the next week or two, so we can stay on track schedule-wise. There's a number of factors at play there, but the most important to me is that with Kyle coming on, managing projects like this, the interest in creating a position of advocacy, I can speak, is very important going forward. There was an oversight. We want to call it out. We want to hold the companies that work for the county on a regular basis. We want them to be accountable. And so there's going to be hopefully quick discussion and resolution of this in some form or another. And Kyle will be very involved in that process. So you'll hear about this again, hopefully sooner than later. And we'll be right back on track with hopefully a satisfactory resolution of our specifications here. If you have any other questions more specific, I'll be happy to take a shot at it.
Seeing none, please vote.
Fifteen ayes. Next is miscellaneous and announcements.
We'll start on Member Rulin's side and work our way around.
I just want to recognize an individual township supervisor, Mike Radcliffe in Chillicothe, who attended an emergency preparedness seminar and thought it was such a great idea that he initiated on his own, what I consider above and beyond a township supervisor's responsibility, an emergency preparedness meeting for all the stakeholders in northern Peoria County. He put together a great presentation. It was from 8 to 11. Everybody, I particularly, because I'm not in the emergency preparedness business, I learned an awful lot. And I appreciate so many facets of Peoria County. The Sheriff's Department was represented, the Highway Department. Jason Mark's office was represented. In fact, Kate ran the meeting. And I just really think that, finding dedicated public servants like Mike Ratcliffe to go above and beyond, for those of you that know him, if the Ameren guys are here, they know that name. But it was very well attended. A lot was learned and a lot was accomplished. So thanks to Mike Ratcliffe.
Thank you, Member Ruin. Member Blair.
I just want to make sure people are aware that the Advisory Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship met last week, and we approved 6 grants for some local businesses that are starting up.
Member Allison.
I just want to follow up on something that Beth Kreider said when she was talking about Teacher Appreciation Week. And it's so common that, we complain, we put stuff out on social media that's negative. I think it's a great idea to send a note or put something on social media thanking the teacher that made some sort of difference in your life. And since I'm sitting here in the microphone, I will say that Mr. Hitzroth from Notre Dame was the teacher that got me here.
Member Williams.
I will be attending the Illinois Association of County Board Members annual spring meeting, which is next Thursday, May 15th from 9 to 2. If there's anyone else that would like to go, let me know, because you could ride with me.
Staff.
Just one thing, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of our communications director, just to remind everyone of Bison Trek. We have 20 bison that have now been placed out in the community, with PJ hares being revealed today. Also, we are sold out of bison.
So a couple of recognitions real quick. Big deal. Rachel received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Bradley University. So she went in 1992, Bradley's Hall of Fame, and her records, 92 she went in, her records have been held in place. 2 records that she's held for over 30 years were finally broken this year at Bradley. So she was awarded Bradley as an alumni for a Lifetime Achievement Award. Well done. And thank you. You saw during proclamations, which we had a lot of them tonight, but we did take a step up. I got to give thank you to Ask Gretchen, but then Megan and Nancy for finding, instead of the folders, something that looks more like a diploma thing with the sticker that went on to give to people. So thank you to staff for that. And we recognized you earlier, Marcellus, and you weren't here, but congratulations. You were appointed to the Merit Commission tonight. Do you have anything to say? I see flowers over there. Is it something you want to say to Brooke? Oh, he's going to take the mic.
All right, there we go. We came. We thought we were doing it quietly, but we came in. We just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day early because we will be traveling for basketball, and we won't get a chance to possibly see Mom. So I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day early, and the kids wanted to say that. So Happy Mother's Day. Love you. And congratulations to Rachel again, and thanks for voting me in. Thank you. I didn't know that was tonight.
Sorry, guys.
Good man, Marcellus, and thanks for the reminder. Just like teachers, thanks to all the mothers out there that have gotten us to where we at today too. So happy Mother's Day early. With that, executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Member Phelan, Member Coates, and this is for personnel. Yes. So we are.